All right, Drew, we're live and on YouTube.
Great stuff. Thank you, Irina. All right, little tongue twister there, right? Used to saying Facebook. We have transitioned over here.
Live and on YouTube.
And I am hearing myself.
Great stuff. Thank you, Irina. All right, little tongue
All right, so hopefully that's a little bit better. Nobody's hearing an echo in that. We do apologize for those little hiccups as we kind of iron out our little process here for going live on YouTube. So those of you who are here with us today, we appreciate you coming hanging out with us for the next 45 minutes or so while we answer any questions that you might have about the ClickFunnels platform. As is customary, we will go through a couple of rules of the road, some of the housekeeping tips, if you will, give you some of an opportunity to see, number one, that we've gone live, as well as be able to get your questions into the queue, which is actually represented by the comment section right here on YouTube. If you have any questions as it relates to the ClickFunnels platform, feel free to go ahead and post those into that comment section there. We'll be happy to answer those questions here in a very short period of time. Before we do that, we do have a couple of types of questions. We are limited in our ability to provide direct responses for here on the call. The first one would be anything that would require us to log specifically into your account to troubleshoot something that might be going on there. As you can see, we're here in a public environment here on YouTube. We want to make sure that we do not reveal any sensitive information that might be found inside of your account. So what we'll do is we'll actually show you how to set up any particular outcome that you might be looking for here on our screen share in real time. Now, we'll go through everything that you could possibly do to achieve that. And of course, if you have followed all of those particular steps and are still not able to achieve the desired outcome that you are looking for, the best course of action for you would be to reach out to our support team. That can be done here in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Simply click on this little icon right here. It's going to open up this chat widget toward the bottom. You'll have an opportunity of being able to ask your question. What it's going to do is it's going to produce a few articles from our knowledge base that are based off of the keywords inside of your question. What you'll need to do from that point, just simply scroll all the way down to the bottom here and say that you're going to need to ask your question again, because more than likely we've already gone through and exhausted all of the resources from our help desk by showing you here in real time. And then you'll have an opportunity here when you do that the second time of being able to talk to an expert. That's going to transfer you over to a human being who will have the opportunity of being able to transfer you, not transfer you, but take a look at your account and point you in the right direction from there. Second type of question that we are limited in our ability to provide direct responses to would be anything related to marketing and or strategy. Generally speaking, if you have any related questions to that, you're not barred from asking them. We are just limited in what we can do by way of telling you or pointing you in directions. First step, course of action that we would take in that particular scenario would be to provide you with any tool and or resource that might be available to you here at ClickFunnels. As an example, if you're curious about the best type of funnel to build for a particular niche, we might encourage you to take a look here at the Funnel Builders or Funnel Hacker Cookbook. Gives you an opportunity there of finding the right funnel for the job. It's automated systems, works out really well. You can also see here on the right-hand side, we have Funnel Flex training. These are resources that are available to you on the condition that you might have anything related to marketing and strategy that would kind of be a good resource for you. We'll encourage you to take a look at that as well. If you are a ClickFunnels Platinum member or above, you'll have an opportunity right down here taking a look at the calendar. If you have questions related to specific types of funnels, for example, tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. my time, which I am Central's time, this will actually post based off the time inside of your account. So make sure that you have updated that. You'll have an opportunity of attending a virtual hackathon for going over a live webinar funnel. So you'll have an opportunity of learning how to build that with Greg, Adam, and his team over there. And that again is for ClickFunnels Platinum and above. And these, depending on the nature of your question, would be what we would encourage you to take a look at. Here, if you're inside of your dashboard, we would encourage you also to take a look at the 2 Comma Club live event. It's going to be taking place here at the end of the week. Pretty exciting for that there. It's here in your dashboard on the top left-hand corner there. Log in, claim your ticket now before they do fill up those seats. And that's going to be available here in the next couple of days. So that's pretty exciting as well. We do these webinars every Tuesday and Thursday, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are a member of the ClickFunnels community, we're going to be spending 45 minutes here with everybody, answering any questions that you do have as it relates to the ClickFunnels platform. During that time frame, of course, if we do not have any questions coming into the queue, generally speaking, what we would do is shut down the webinar slightly early out of respect for everybody's time there. And of course, we will be timestamping anybody's questions that you do have and then posting a recording here in a playlist on YouTube for your future reference. Hopefully that makes sense for everybody, gives you enough time to be able to see that we've gone live. And we can spend the next 30 minutes or so answering everybody's questions that we do have coming in. Irina, do we have any questions coming in at this time?
Awesome stuff, Andrew. Yeah, we have a question coming in. So we have a hello from Stan. What's going on, Stan? Welcome to the Q&A. We have a question from Lulo, and the question is, I have a funnel that has some sort of built-in pop-up that I can't seem to be able to remove.
All right, so you have a funnel that has a built-in pop-up that you are currently not able to remove. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on here. There's a couple of options that you might be facing here in this particular case. Now, this is obviously just off the top of my head, Lulu. If this does not work, then the best course of action would be to reach out to our support team, get some eyeballs on it. But at the end of the day, let's go here into our member demo. If we open this up, you will be able to see that the pop-up by default has a on exit, and it shows exit intent, right? So what that means is if anybody leaves the viewport, which is this portion of it right here at the top of the screen, it will trigger that particular pop-up. Okay, so let's go here to our goal page. This is a page that we have built already. If we open up the page editor, you're going to see here that we do at the top have the option for a pop-up. Now, this particular page does not have a pop-up built into it, so it's not going to actually pop up in real time for us, but we'll have to turn it on, kind of give you the experience that I believe that you might actually be having here. So as you can see here, pop-up, if we show the pop-up, you can see that there's actually nothing in it, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and add a column, throw in a paragraph. There we go. We got something in there now. And then what we'll do is we'll save that. And then we're going to change the settings on our pop-up so that our settings tell it to open up when the mouse exit the browser. So when the user tries to exit right here. So we open this up right here. That will make this pop up whenever a person tries to leave the browser tab. So basically, if this is what you're seeing right here, when a person tries to leave, this pop-up happens. That is what you are experiencing. Now, to make it stop, what you would need to do is just simply go into the pop-up settings and close this out. Say this is as an example of your page here. Go right here into the settings there. And then, you go into the pop-up, go into the settings for your pop-up specifically. Once you open that up, you'll have an opportunity here to trigger on exit and then say don't show on exit. Now, what that will do is that will prevent this pop-up from showing when the person tries to leave the viewport. And then, of course, you'd have an option of triggering it on the pressing of a button or anything of that nature. So hopefully that makes sense. Irina, what do you think? Did I get the did I get the right question? Hopefully.
I think you got the right question. I'm just seeing if there's any additional feedback, but I think that was good. So Lulu, let us know if there's anything else. Oh, she says, I tried this, but it doesn't work. It doesn't, the don't show on exit. It's still popping up. Could it be maybe some code on there and it's a click pop that's sitting over it?
That is possible as well. There's a number of ways, Lulu, in this particular case that you could actually have a pop-up on your screen. So for example, if we go here into our tracking code, there could be some script here for a pop-up. There might be a HTML element on your page that has a pop-up. In that particular case, the best thing to do is put some eyeballs on the situation, because we could go through all the different scenarios that are available for pop-ups, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the situation is going to correct it. So what I would recommend doing in this particular case, simply because our first diagnosis was incorrect, will be to reach out to our support team. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you'll be able to get a hold of somebody. They'll be able to look at it and figure out exactly what it is that's causing that pop-up to take hold, and be able to turn that off, or at least show you how to turn it off. It could be off the top of my head. Obviously, the first one that we displayed, we could have a click pop, which is a code on the page itself. There could be code that is in your CSS or your JavaScript inside of the editor up at the top. So hopefully that makes sense. And I don't want to put it into a situation where we're sending you to go do a bunch of things that aren't going to help you achieve your goal. So I hope that makes sense. Any thoughts on that one, Irina?
No, that's awesome. Thank you, Andrew, for touching on that. The next question we have is coming in from Beth, and Beth is asking, if I set up my SMRP in ClickFunnels with Mailgun, I think it might have been a typo, it's SMTP. So in ClickFunnels with Mailgun a few years ago, can I easily change it to SendGrid, or will it mess everything up?
Oh, that is a good question, Beth. You actually would easily be able to change that over to SendGrid. In fact, inside of your account, depending on your account level, you can have multiple SMTP servers just for any purpose of that you wish. You can actually have both Mailgun and SendGrid inside of your account at the same time, depending on whichever one you're going to use for. Now, one thing to keep note of, if you wanted to use, for example, if you're using with Mailgun, your own custom domain, and you wanted to maintain that domain with your sending, you would need to transfer, of course, some of those records over to SendGrid. That's the only thing that you would have to do in this particular case, but I'm not sure if that's what your goal is. If you just wanted to swap it out and use them to send those emails, you could do that very easily just by making a few changes. If you have any questions on how to do that, just let us know and we'll walk you through the process. And like we said, you could have multiple SMTP servers in your account at one time. So you could toggle between them, select whichever one's going to be best for the funnel that you're using right now and go forward with it from there. So hopefully that makes sense. Irina, any thoughts for Beth?
Cool. No, that's great. Thank you, Andrew. The next question we have is from Gregory. And Gregory, we're super excited to have you here as well. So Gregory's asking about language selections available in ClickFunnels. How would he be able to utilize using different languages in ClickFunnels?
All right, Gregory, that is an excellent question. The system itself is not where you would necessarily set up your language. I mean, theoretically, you could just type in a different language. I'm not sure how that would work inside the browser because it's obviously native to English. But whenever a person visits your page, if they're using Google as an example, Google Translate will automatically prompt them if they're wanting to translate that page into the language where they're currently visiting it from. But there's no native feature inside the system available that will allow you to select different languages outside of native English, if that makes sense. But Google Translate, a couple of other resources that potentially you could tap into. I've personally never typed in another language, so I'm not sure what resources would be the best solution for that. Irina, any thoughts on that one?
So typically, I mean, you could translate like your Chrome, right? So say you're in Chrome, you could go ahead and translate that into a different language and then type in that other language. And it depends if your laptop obviously is in English or if it's in a different language. So it's easier for you to kind of find where the letters are. I know that, I've seen that done in the past, but again, based on your geographical location, your page would be translated into that language. So that's something, kind of to keep in mind. So it's a great, it's a great feature out there in the world that individuals are able to view your page and be translated into their language wherever they're accessing it from. We have a question coming in from Stan, and Stan wants to know, he's using two prices, one for people with a personal to them codes and one for others. And he wants a checkout page to give special prices to code bearers only and force others to take a higher price.
All right, Stan. So basically what you're looking for here is a coupon code. Inside of the system itself, there's no native way to actually add a coupon code as of yet. So in your particular instance, the best option for you would be to give an individual you could theoretically create a survey or whatever the case might be that could potentially filter out based off a code. But in our particular case, the only thing that you would need to do to make it more simplified than that would just be to create two pages, one for people who have the special link and one for people who don't. The special link is one that would be the lowered price point offer on the page as it sits. That's the best way to natively do it. There are some scripts available to you in cfprotools.com that will allow you to add the coupon code generator inside of there. I don't know if that's in the free version or the paid version of CF Pro Tools, but I believe it's in the free version. But that will allow you for the opportunity of putting a couple of scripts on the page stand that will give you the opportunity of putting that coupon code on there so that you'll be able to give people a discount using that code as a unique standalone offer itself. I hope that makes sense. Irina, any thoughts on that one?
No, I think that's good feedback. In addition, Stan just wrote, so field must recognize many different but in same form codes to deliver a lower price. That was his additional feedback on that.
So I'm assuming that what you're referencing there, Stan, would be kind of like a coupon code that is specific to the user themselves. So it generates a unique code that they get to use one time, and then that code would no longer work. I'm assuming that that's what you're referencing. I'm not sure of a way to be able to do that. Irina, are you?
No, not off the top of my head. Kind of like you mentioned, CF Pro Tools. That would probably be the best bet for something like this. And definitely kind of playing around with generating the code from there. Let's see. We have a question coming in from Ariel, and Ariel's asking, I see people who have videos that show a button that sound can be turned on with, and also a preview of the video. How can you do that?
Okay. All right. So this is a very good question, Ariel. In this particular instance, that's going to be dependent on your video player. For example, Wistia has that option to where it's got the video playing without the sound, and then it asks you basically to unmute the video. And then what it'll do is it'll start over again from scratch. YouTube, I'm not sure if YouTube has that feature. I do believe that feature is as it relates to ClickFunnels with our integrations, available only specifically on Wistia. In that particular instance, what I would do is kind of explore some different options on that. You have what you're running into, Ariel, here is the browsers. What they did a while ago is they prevented any videos that were playing with sound from playing. Okay, so what the video hosts, for example, Wistia, did in response to that is made it to where the videos automatically mute. I'm not sure if Vimeo does that. I do have a Vimeo account. I just haven't explored that particular option, but that is how I'm aware of it being done. Irina, are you aware of any other method?
No, I think that's, you kind of touched on the way to do it through the third parties. Perhaps internally, we could just show how you can also put in the video overlay option for the video element where it says, kind of click to play. Maybe that's something that would be helpful to Ariel.
The video overlay element is a fantastic idea. I completely spaced that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to cruise on over here to our page. We're just going to go over here to the opt-in page and add a video element to kind of show you. That was a great call, Irina. So we'll open up the page editor here, and we will add a new row. We'll just throw this row in here. Could add a new element, and we'll put the video player on there. So here's our video player. And in this particular case, you can see overlaid text is join a session already in progress, right? Now it comes with a custom embed code, not embed code, but a embed iframe for this particular embed, which is YouTube. And you can of course put this in any video that you would like, any MP4 or anything like that, or just use the custom iframe as it sees here. And then of course you can put whatever text you want. This click to play, right? Just like that. Okay, then we go ahead and save. And then when we preview our page, just like so, we should see some text overlaying that. The difference is on this particular situation is the video itself is not going to auto play in the background. It will just have that text overlaying on the box itself. More than likely, we're going to have to do is use a direct URL here. So it didn't actually cause the block pause text video overlay. Okay, so let's see. So right here, once we've added this one here, we can do the block pause, which is what turns that on, which is this part right here. Okay, so let me go ahead. I don't think I have a YouTube URL in there either, do I? I do not. Let me grab one really quick, and then we will show you what that is going to look like right there. Let's see, how to wake up early. Looks like a really good video that we could use for that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and copy our URL from YouTube, place that right in here. And then right here, our block pause is on. Now this will work with any of the built-in players, just not the custom embed option. Okay, and then we will save the video and then preview that. And we will see out here on the internet that our video, oh, it does play in the background. Look at that. Look how awesome that is. I did not know that did that. So there is Ariel. That I assume is what it is that you were looking for.
A series of autobiographical writing.
Okay, well, I'm just going to wake up early. That's what that video is going to teach you how to do. So hopefully that makes sense. And Irina, excellent call once again. Pat on the back in a good call.
Awesome stuff. That was a great demo, Andrew. All right, so we have a little bit more clarification on Beth's question earlier. So when she was talking about SMTP and switching from Mailgun to SendGrid. So just to clarify, she's saying, I have a custom domain on the $97 plan. So I can only have one SMTP. And I heard that SendGrid is better for e-commerce funnels because it integrates with Twilio to give you a phone number to communicate with customers. Any thoughts on that? Problem is, I don't want to mess everything up within ClickFunnels, but if it's a matter of just switching over, I can handle that. The complicated stuff is over my head. Personally, I'm thinking you could just use Twilio on its own without SendGrid. And
you could, right? You could use Twilio on its own without SendGrid. What you're referencing here with respect to being able to do, SMS marketing and things like that along with it, Twilio and SendGrid merged 4 or 5 months ago, something like that. And that gives you that flexibility with that. Now, if you're using Mailgun itself, you don't need to extract Mailgun from that. You can just go get a Twilio account, right? And integrate that directly with your account. You'll be able to do that same functionality without having to change from Mailgun. Now, if I don't know what the specifics are and whether or not, Mailgun versus SendGrid are different as it relates to SMTP. But yeah, it's something that's probably pretty simple to do just by adding in Twilio itself. You'll still have basically, it's not SendGrid.com, it's Twilio's, but they're the same company now. They're all operated by the same management, but that could help you with that. Hopefully that makes sense. You could very easily as well, either way that you want to do it, Beth, is just remove Mailgun from your system and then add SendGrid. It's easy. It's not going to hurt anything. If you have campaigns going out and whatnot, you probably have to double check to make sure that they're still going, because you will have stopped the system from sending them the way that it is currently set up. Make sure that your SMTP server is integrated with any funnels that you currently have running related to that. But hopefully that makes sense. Anything for that one? Anything else?
No, that's great stuff. Thank you. Next question is from Dawn. Dawn's asking, we have a sales funnel with a one-time offer. Is there any way we can add a quantity drop down or button if a customer would like to order more than one item? Or is an upsell page our only option?
Oh, no, you can add in a nice little product thing. I'll show you. We have an opportunity of adding a product selector to our page itself. So what we're going to need here is ourselves a nice little order page. Okay, so we'll add this here. And then you can have variations of a product which give the ability to select multiples of that particular item. So it's called product variation. And what we're going to do here is just kind of cruise in and grab an order form itself. And then on this one, we'll select this page, just a flat regular page. I just randomly selected it, no other particular reason. And then what we need to do is we need to add the element. Okay, so what we're going to do is open up the page editor itself. And then we're going to add the element for the product selector to the product variation to the page itself. So as you can see here, when we go in and see, where do we have variation? Let's see. Variation product. All right. So what's it called? Let's see here. It's here. I don't play with it very often, so bear with me. Order select.
Is there a product already on the funnel? It's not going to turn on if there's already a product under the order, under the products.
There shouldn't be. As a brand new page. Let's see. Let's take a peek and see what we have. No product. Okay, so it should give us the option of turning that bad boy on, right? What am I missing? There's a step that I'm overlooking. Let's see. Bear with me, everybody. You can do it. It's product variations. Let's cheat. Let's go look at our help docs. Creating a product with variations. This is actually the document that you'd want to go through when you're following the process. Obviously, step one right here is it's optional. You have to go to the products tab and add your product onto the order page, right? So that's the first step there that you can kind of see. And maybe it's in here. Do we toggle it in here? But no, we wouldn't be able to toggle it in there unless we added it to the page. Let's see here. Create the variation. So there's a couple steps that we are missing. I don't want to watch the video here in real time. So give me just a second, unless it's the page tech that we're on here. Bear with me, guys. I apologize for my lack of quickness on this particular one here. I know it's in here. It's a brand new element that we added about a month and a half ago, a couple of weeks ago, give or take, something like that.
So and you have to set up the variations product before editing the order page. So just pop over back into the product and then make it a variation product. And then the element will appear after the fact.
I guess we should go through all the process here. Bam, there we go. Call you $1, just like that. Oh, okay, very easy. All right, so this is actually, one simple step. So this is what you want to do right here in this particular case, Don, is when you get to the product variation, you just simply toggle that on, and then you will be able to create your variation. So let's call this one large, call this variation value large, right? just like so. We'll add large to our options here, and then we'll save and add another. So this is going to give us the option of being able to add another variation. And then right here, we'll go large 1, and this will be another variation of large 1. Okay. And then here you can see
size too.
What's that?
I would do for variation type like size, and then variation value as
oh, I get what you're
large,
saying. So
small, medium.
Yeah, okay, size. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, size, large, size, and then variation large.
And then one thing to keep in mind with these is if you do have a two-step order form on your page, product variations won't work with two-step order forms at this time. So you'll need like a regular order page with the elements on it, not a two-step order form. And Andrew's going to demonstrate that.
There we go. So now we have those in there. Then we'll just go back out to our order form, and this should give us that opportunity like we were looking for earlier of having that different element that will actually add it to the page. So you can kind of see how this would work for you. Apologize for my rustiness on that particular element. I have not actually played with it in quite some time. So here it is. This is what it looks like when we add that to the page. It's just like so. And then you can see right here that they can select a quantity of that particular item when we preview it. So we'll just go ahead and save it out here, and then we'll preview the page. And you can see on the page when we scroll all the way down that I have not made it live apparently, but that is actually where it is. Inside of here, we can kind of deal with some of these other advanced settings, which is pretty typical of your elements. But that's it right there. I don't think we actually saved and published the actual products, but that's where you would add them. And you can see right here that the quantity selector is part of that element, and that'll get you on your way, Don. If you have any further questions about that, feel free to ask, and we can dive into it a little bit further. We can go through the whole process of setting it up. Shouldn't take too long now that we have the whole bead on where everything's at. Easily be able to set that up, but hopefully that makes sense. Any thoughts on that one, Irina?
Awesome. No, that's great stuff. And then super helpful if you are setting up with variations. One thing to keep in mind, if you're going to be adding a product with variations to your page, you're going to want to kind of start from scratch because you can only have one product with variations on your order forms at this time. So if you already have products on that order page, you're going to have to take them off. But I would definitely recommend is following along with our tutorial, the document that Andrew had set up. It's step by step. So it'll tell you exactly step by step what you need to put in there without, kind of pulling your hair out in the process. So definitely just go through it exactly how it is in the document step by step, and you'll be good to go with that. So if you have any other questions on that, just let us know. Let's see if there's another question coming in right now. And the next question is, hold on, scroll. Is there a way to test my funnel before I go live? The question is from Carla.
Absolutely, Carla. You can test everything in your funnel by going through your funnel. Now, there's a couple different ways to do that. You could, of course, test the funnel using test mode if you're using Stripe as an example. Or you can just run through the funnel as if you were the person going through that funnel. Test the opt-in page, make sure everything's firing and triggering the way that you want it to. The best way to do that is, say, for example, you wanted this particular product and you wanted to test it, right? So up here underneath your products, or not your products, but your publishing settings, just go ahead and open these up. And then, sorry, your settings, not your publishing, but your settings. You open this up and it's going to bring you right on down here to where your Stripe option is. You just simply toggle that over to test mode. Then you can select the Stripe account. More than likely, you'll have one attached to your account. Toggle this over to test mode. You'll see right here that you have a credit card. That's a test card that you will be able to use. So it's that card, any future date, and any 3-digit number for the CCV or CCV number on the back of your card. That is how you will be able to test any payments if you're using Stripe. Now, if you're using PayPal or any other payment gateway, some of them have what's called a sandbox mode where you'd have 2 integrations. It really just depends on the payment gateway that you're using under that circumstance. But if you are using Stripe, this is the easiest way to do it. You can get the credit card, the what we can call it, the fake credit card right there, so that you can record that transaction and you can see if everything is triggering the best way. You know how, or not know how, but the best way you want it to, moving into the next phase of your funnel. Make sure your automations, everything is going the way that you want to. Your funnel is actually live, Carla. One of the things to keep note of whenever you save your funnel, it's actually live on the internet as it sits. So all you'd have to do is just navigate on over to the URL and you'll be able to test that particular funnel. So right here, since we are in test mode, if we go ahead and move on out here, I didn't save it, did I? I did not. That's okay. You would see a bar right across the top says you're in test mode, and it gives you that credit card number as well. You just fill out all the information here and click the button. That will allow you the opportunity of testing that. Hopefully that makes sense. Any thoughts on that one, Irina?
Awesome. No, that's good stuff. Some feedback. People are saying that it's helpful about test mode. So awesomeness. Let's see. The next question that we have is from Israel. And the question is how to create 2 products on one order form.
All right, Israel, good question as well. And the way that you would do that, creating 2 products on one order form, real basic is you just go back up. Okay. So here we have on our order form, we have 1 product. We just create another product. Now this one obviously has variations. So we would be able to add that second product onto there. But here, if you have just a regular product without that variation, you'll be able to just go through the process of adding the second one. And then what it does on the order form is it just has a number of products. So for example, you have 2 products, it would show 2 products on the order form per person to select from with a radio button. If you wanted 2 products where they could have both of them, you would need to have the product variation on there as well as OTOs and things like that in your funnel to maximize that particular process. But same thing, you just go in, add that second product as you see fit. So hopefully that makes sense.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrew. And Dawn, I just responded to you in the comments on that question about the product variation. So again, guys, if you are using product variations and you have an order form with a 2-step order form on it, you're gonna have to use a standalone order form, not a 2-step order form, in order to have variations work on your page. Beth is asking, where are the replays for these Q&As?
Good question, Beth. Okay, so here's what's going to happen after the webinar is over with. It'll be right here on the YouTube channel. We're going to actually organize these into a playlist here for you, so you'll be able to come back at any time, just access the playlist, and you'll be able to see all the replays. And then in the comment section as well, in you will see the questions as well as a timestamp to them. And then in app, we're gonna put a notification up tomorrow morning about today's webinar with the questions that were asked here in real time, and you'll be able to see it there as well. So there'll be a link there inside of the app through the post that maybe you saw the post, I don't know, but that will be there for you for tomorrow. And then of course it'll be right here on the YouTube channel. So what you'll want to do is just subscribe to the channel, click that little notification icon, and that will give you notifications when we go live, and then you just be able to come right on back and go into the playlist and see all of the replays for these particular webinars. So hopefully that helps. Irina, any thoughts on that?
Awesome. No, great stuff. Thanks, Andrew. Question from Stan about variations again. Can variations change price?
Ooh, good question. And that to which I do not know the actual answer. I'm going to lean toward, I think so. I don't see why they wouldn't necessarily be able to, but probably not based off what I saw when I was going through the thing. I don't know for sure. I would definitely, in this particular case, Stan, have to play with that that function a lot more than I have. I've only played with it a couple of times, as you can see from my clunky demonstration of this particular app or this particular element of the page itself. But yeah, I don't based off what I'm seeing in the functionality, I don't think that you have that ability to do that. Irina,
Right.
any thoughts?
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. Because you're setting up, you're essentially, what you're doing is setting up one product, right? So when you set up a product, under your product details, you have one price for it. So kind of like, say you have a small, medium, large t-shirt, it's the same t-shirt. So it's going to be the same price. So say your t-shirt's $20, so your small, medium, and large is going to be $20. So I totally understand the variations, and changing price maybe based on fabric or something like that. That's totally that would be a great feature request. So if you're interested in something like that, let us know. But yeah, currently as it stands, it's one price for the variations. All right. So the next question we have coming in is from Alian, and I'm sorry if I've mispronounced that, but Alian, the question is, I can't make my YouTube video play on the auto webinar broadcast room. The video shows, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't play or anything on Safari. Can you show me how you do it?
All right, so make the video play on Safari. That sounds like something that we might have to investigate, but let's take a peek here and just go in. So basically a broadcast YouTube video is just a YouTube video. So I mean, I can go into a broadcast room and add it if we wanted to. Was it webinar autoplay? room? Is that what it was, or broadcast room?
It's auto webinar broadcast room. So just a broadcast room.
Broadcast room. Okay. So basically all we would do, like we could take the link for this particular live and we could put it into any video page like this one right here. We've got a video on the page. The webinar broadcast room works identical to this particular structure as well. So all you would do is put it in there and it should play perfectly fine as far as I'm aware. I'm not aware of anything that would cause it to cause any hiccups. And if you pinpointed it specifically to Safari, that might be something that we would need to get some eyeballs on. Hopefully that makes sense. So basically all I'm doing is just kind of chatting my way through the process of getting over to this so that I can put the embed in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy our link to our live right now and place that into that link just like so. And then preview the page. And as you can see here, it is currently playing, which we would expect. And then we wanted to do that in Safari. So what I'm going to do is just to go ahead and test that really quick. You're not going to be able to see this because I'm broadcasting in one tab, and it's obviously Chrome. But what I'm going to do, actually, I can't because I don't have Safari, do I? I have to have Safari. I got a Mac. Give me just a second and I'll get this really quick and see if we have any issues with it playing currently on Safari. Bear with me as I pull up my Safari browser. I don't ever use it unless I have to. In this particular case, why is it that I do not find it? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There you are. Okay. Opening up the browser now so that we can double test this on my end, see if I have any issues with that YouTube video playing inside of that particular window, which it does not appear that I currently do. Nope, I do not have any issues with that currently playing in my Safari browser as well. So in this particular case, what I would recommend doing is reaching out to our support team, simply because I'm not able to actually see any issue on my end with that happening. They'll be able to take a look at your account login and help you with that particular issue. But in our particular example here, if you follow the same steps that we just did, I just took the link to our live broadcast that we're in right now and placed that in there inside of that video box. So hopefully that makes sense. Irina, any thoughts on that one?
Awesome. No, I was just asking Elaine if it works in Chrome for him or not. So I'm just waiting to hear back, because you already did the test, I asked beforehand. So I'm just waiting for a little bit of feedback. We have a follow-up from Carla, and Carla's asking, I just tried to run a test and I got an error message. Your request was in live mode, but used a known test card. What does that mean?
Okay, more than likely, just off the top of my head, Carla, I would assume that the product you're trying to test is a continuity product, a product that has multiple payments instead of just one. If that is the case, then you would actually need to go into your Stripe account as well and set that product up inside of the test mode inside their system. I've actually never seen that error come across on Stripe, even when I've used it, so I'm not familiar with it. Doesn't mean that it's not a thing. It just means that I've never seen it. So I'm not familiar with what it actually means, but I'm assuming that it just means that you're currently your product for your continuity, if that is the case, Carla, is currently inside of Stripe in live mode, but not in test mode. That only is required if you have a product that is a multiple payment product. So if you have a single time product, hopefully that makes sense.
For sure. A follow-up from Elaine. Did you use a broadcast room template? Can we pull up a broadcast room template and test the video in it?
We can. Most definitely. Actually, I'll just, well, yeah, I have to do it anyways because webinar. And then what we will do here, give that a minute. There we go. And then we will grab our webinar broadcast room. We'll grab a random one. We'll grab our link from YouTube. We will edit our page. Open up our broadcast room. And what we'll do here is paste that in like so. Save that. And then let that preview. Do we have our video? We do have our video. Then what we will do is we'll grab the link. So just cruise on out of here, grab our link, and then I will go back on over here to Safari. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see this. Place that in there and see if we have any issues with that. And it looks like everything is actually working perfectly fine there as well. In this particular case, Elaine, it does appear that it's working on my end in Safari as well. And all I did was just copy the address bar for our live that we're currently in right now, right? So I hope that makes sense. Definitely, if you're having that issue, I really recommend support. Take a look at it. And in this particular case, support's going to basically do the same thing that I'm doing, is test it just like we are. If you can show a video or like a Loom or something like that to our support team, it helps them get a little bit better of an idea as to what's going on, because they might run into the same thing that I'm running into, where when I'm testing it, it's working, but on your end, when you're testing it, it's not. Right. So there could be something that is very different from what I'm doing in the process versus what you're doing in the process that could cause that. And if they could catch that in a video, it would be a little bit more expeditious in providing a solution for yourself, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Awesome, Andrew. So then I was just trying to ask Carla what her payment gateway is, because she responded with saying that she's got several products. So to test my funnel, she's asking, do I need to change every product to test mode? Can you just run through turning on the funnel into test mode and showing her what that would look like? So Carla, take a look at Andrew's demo.
So basically, in this particular case, now if you have multiple products, I mean, unless you want to test each individual product, but at the end of the day, what you want to really test is whether or not your funnel is connected to your payment gateway, right? So what we do is you could test one product to make sure that's functioning, unless you want to test each individual product for any particular automations or whatnot that you might be running behind the scenes. But right here, we're just going to go here and we're going to select a Stripe account. We're going to use my Stripe account. We're going to go ahead and turn this to on, scroll down to the bottom of the page. And then what will happen when we save this, at the top of the page, we open this like so, just like that. We will see a stripe across the top that's got, it'll tell us that we're currently in test mode. And to be able to, did I save that? I thought I saved that.
I thought you did too.
Let me see. Yeah, it's on. Okay.
Why don't you deselect, just because this account has a lot of Stripe accounts, deselect which Stripe account it is. Just go, yeah, like anything, just blank, and see if it'll push it into test mode, because maybe that's what she's running into.
Very interesting.
Odd.
Very, very interesting. So there should be, Carla, is across the top of that, there should be a little strip that says warning your funnels in test mode, right? So let me just see this. Let's go to test and see what happens. Go like that. Okay, give it just a second here. We're gonna go here, and we're gonna go. No stripe across top. Well, that might be what you're running into, Carla. In this particular case, what I'd recommend doing was, again, unfortunately, reach out to our support team, show them what you're experiencing there, and see what might be going on, because it doesn't look like it's toggling test mode on our end. Would have to do some double checking, a couple of things. This is this count right here, like Irina said, has a number of Stripe accounts attached to it. But when you go to your page, to test your product, up at the top, you should see a banner right across the top here that says your funnel's in test mode, and it tells you what credit card number to use. And then you can just go into the payment process right here and kind of do that. So hopefully that makes sense. I wonder if it's because we have that. Let me try something really quick. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to try something. So we're going to go here. We're going to go here to our order form. We're going to use this one. This one's not special. We're not on it. And then what we'll do is we'll go into our products. We'll create one really quick. Turn on Stripe, because we're going to use our test mode of Stripe. One-time payment. Okay, so we'll go here like so.
Yeah, I just did a test in a different account and it's working.
Okay, yeah, I figured. So we're going to go ahead and save all the way through. That should be enough, right? Let's go take a peek at our order form here. Oops. Order form, and then we'll go to settings. And it might be the product variation on that particular element that was preventing it. So we'll save. It's the only thing different about that page that I can think of. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So you can see right here, warning, right at the top of your funnel there. And then of course you just copy that portion of it and then you'll run through, paste it in here, any 3 numbers, any future date, select your product, click the button. And in this particular case, it should process. There was nothing really that missing purchase because we don't have anything here for our order bump, but that error is because we have 2. It's looking for something right here. There's nothing for them to purchase. If we remove that, that would submit that particular payment. But this is what you should see. Yeah, so that might have been what it was. Do you see this, Carla, at the top of your screen? If so, then it's more than likely just a continuity thing. Otherwise, that's going to be another situation where we're going to have somebody put their eyeballs on it to give you the right direction, because I don't want to go down all of the different paths that it could possibly be and send you down a wild goose chase, so to speak. So hopefully that makes sense. Irina, anything?
Awesome. No, so she was just saying that she was using Stripe and PayPal together, but she was trying to do Stripe, and I guess she's saying it's still not working. Yeah, so just like Andrew just said, the best thing would be to have support take a look at what might be happening inside of the account, because it was kind of wonky on that other page. I wonder maybe possibly because there is Stripe and PayPal together. Maybe there's a PayPal button on the page, so maybe it's reading it a little, but I can't tell you right off the top of my head without kind of digging in there and looking at the technical pieces. So as Andrew said, I think support looking at it with their eyeballs and kind of testing it out and clicking around, they'd be better to give you a more direct answer to that. So it looks like that is the end of our live questions at this time, Andrew.
Well, all right. Well, that does appear that we have been here for 52 minutes, which is an excellent amount of time to hang out with everybody here. Glad that you guys were able to come hang out with us. Sorry for those of you who asked a question that we weren't able to provide direct responses for, that you'll still need a little bit of support for, but at least you now know that it is something that's going to require somebody to take a look at to help you move forward with it. We'll be back again here coming on Thursday, and the replay will be up here very shortly after we close it out. And then we will post a Beamer announcement inside of the system. It's going to give you a notification about this particular webinar tomorrow morning. So you'll be able to come back and take a look at any of the questions that we have answered, and you can get some feedback on that as well. So hopefully that makes sense for everybody. Mark it on your calendars every Tuesday, Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be going live here, and make sure that you notice those announcements when we do get ready to go live. You can post your questions right there into those announcements, and if we don't have any questions in our queue here, we'll answer those ones as well. So hopefully that makes sense. Irina, any final thoughts before we go?
No, guys, it was awesome hanging out with you guys today, and we'll see you guys on Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube.